left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
House Speaker Mike Johnson's support for the Ukraine aid bill is dividing the halls of Congress and putting his job in jeopardy. He recently unveiled plans to pass foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel, but he faces opposition from his own party. So, Ace, why are members of the Republican Party pushing back on this bill?
Well, once again, the House MAGA Republicans, the Freedom Caucus, they're pushing it back for several reasons. One of them is they don't want Biden to accomplish anything while they're in office, pretty much. And so right now, they're using aid to Ukraine and Israel and all this stuff, pretty much kind of as a political weapon to just make things miserable. I think that there's there's a part of Congress that doesn't want anything to operate or work. So they try their best to disrupt that. Now, because they have this issue where they can change the speaker, that's their political power, where if you do this, we're gonna get rid of you, pretty much. And at the end of the day, people are dying for this. We're not living up to what we promised our allies, putting Ukraine in a bad situation. We're giving Putin a hand up. The only one that benefits from that in this country is Donald Trump. That's it. He's the one that's in bed with Putin for whatever reason. We can get into that. A lot of people, they forget history and how he got into the office in 2016. Don't understand. He was in bed with Russia then. Mm-hmm. We proved that case back then. He's still in bed with Russia right now, and his interest is to make things easy on Russia, and that comes down to the aid to Ukraine. Once again, delaying that to him, having Marjorie Taylor Greene and her pack of goons sit up there and make it hard, and then put Michael Johnson's job on. Let's be real. I told somebody at the end of the day, Michael Johnson ain't our friend either. He's one of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But he's put in the predicament now to where a decision has to be made and has to be done. And fortunately, the House Democrats are stepping up and trying to get this thing done for us. So
definitely can agree. You got Republicans fighting with themselves, and that little 1% MAGA, they have a hold, and they don't want anything good coming out of this situation because it makes Biden look good. They don't feel like you should be working with Democrats. Again, Congress, that is their job, to work together to push bills
basically
through.
What their job is.
Right. But they don't want to do their job. So here we are.
And I think I've been hearing them also say things about he didn't include any immigration money in the bill.
Yeah, turn that
down. They always use that, but go back a month. There was a big immigration bill that they tried to put through, and y'all said no to that because Trump told you to say no. But now you're saying put some immigration money in this bill, and that's the reason why you're not voting for this one. So it's pretty evident that what both of you just said, you just don't want Biden to have any wins, because the reason why you stopped the last one is what you're asking for now in this one. So it really makes no sense. You brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Hey, so one of the people pushing back on this bill is MTG. She proposed an amendment that would require anyone who votes in favor of this bill to sign up for the Ukrainian military. So, Walanda, what the hell is wrong with your girl?
I do not associate with this lady. Okay, first of all. But Greene has been leading the charge to threaten to introduce a motion like this. First of all, she wants to get rid of Johnson. So she quotes, if you want to fund the war, why don't you go fighting in it? Show your support for Ukraine. Well, MTG, since you love USA, you go join the army. You go join the military. This is just ignorant statements that she says. I know. Go on, join, ma'am. She's been repeatedly banned.
She can go to the Navy. She can come to the army. We don't want her.
Don't want her. She's been repeatedly banned from Twitter, and she was stripped of her committee assignments in the last Congress. Mm-hmm. She's crazy, y'all. Come on. She also said Democrats are a party of pedophiles. They support grooming children. She's subscribed to QAnon.
I was going to say she's QAnon. Yeah. I was waiting for me to say that, but she's QAnon. That kind of went under the rug, QAnon people. But you remember QAnon people?
That was big.
The Pizzagate and all that.
That's her.
They got people running into pizza places and talking about there's a whole pedophile ring in there and shooting them up and ain't nothing down there but a basement. Yeah, that's who we dealing with, and that's who we got running our country and holding our country hostage. And it ain't a game, man. You know, when you're talking about the world stage and what's going on,
Right.
like Ukraine, Russia war, all of that's going on ain't a game. And I think that when this is all done, and we see how much devastating damage we did because people around playing politics here in America, we're going to understand that there's a reason why we're supporting Ukraine. There's a reason why we're in NATO. There's a reason why we don't let China and Russia just run crazy in this world and do things. Because history did it before. We had somebody in Europe that decided to just start taking things without nobody getting in the way. And that ended up being a world war, and a whole bunch of people died, and a lot of crazy things happened. Ended up, we had to drop a nuclear bomb on Japan. Same thing happened, and we've seen this story before. So when people are talking about holding up aid and doing stuff like that, just because crazy things that were going on over here, well, people are dying over that. People are dying, and we're giving our enemies more power, and we're letting them do the things they kind of want to do and grab up resources and do stuff like that to make our lives miserable.
Exactly.
They're not doing it. They're not, everybody ain't happy with the American way of life. There's some people that honestly want to see that end. You know what I'm saying? And it's called Russia, it's called Iran, and it's called China. That's what their purpose is. They're our enemies. You know what I'm saying? That's just how life is. You know what I'm saying? So we keep playing around with them. We're going to face the repercussions. And maybe next time this year, our soldiers are facing, looking down the barrels of AK-47s in Eastern Europe for whatever reason. We don't wonder how we got in this war and why we got body bags coming back.
Right.
Then maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mark Gates understand how serious this is.
Right. Because she thinks it's a game. This QAnon.
They think it's a game.
Yeah. She said also America should have a Christian government, but I don't think she understands how the Constitution works. But I said, this is the person y'all voted for? Like, are we serious? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, she said
she means white Christian nationalists.
Oh, yeah.
Mean
well, that's
Christian.
another word.
She ain't talking about the AME church on the east side.
No, we are not.
She's talking about white Christian national church that preaches segregation and preaches racism. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's talking about.
Hateful stuff. She said, we're
and that ain't what Jesus did. You know what I'm saying? What would Jesus do? You know what I'm saying?
Not that.
They don't have that in the white Christian national church. You know what I'm saying? They're using it as a ploy, you know what I'm saying? And and it's sad that they're using Jesus' name in vain like that.
Very
horrible.
So. Yeah. That's very frustrating.
So you brought up, the world stage, right? And a lot of the people in Congress, especially some of these conservatives, are talking about America should be taking a more isolationist stance. Like, we stop worrying about all these other countries and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people out there, like, we say China's the bad guy and Iran, well, they say we the bad guy.
Yes, sir.
When you go to their country, best believe they say the same thing. Like, they're trying to end our way of life. They're trying to end what we want. Now, with all of this stuff going on, Ace, do Americans care about protecting America's allies, being part of NATO? Do they care about that anymore?
I don't think we understand it. And I think that's because we don't teach it and we don't talk it. But we also haven't been threatened by it.
Well, do they not care because they don't understand it?
Exactly. They don't care. You're right. I mean, but that's through ignorance. Let's be honest, man. We're an ignorant nation. People don't want to face that. But that isolation idea, we tried that in the 1900s, right before World War I. We talked about it. Didn't work. You know what I'm saying? We even talked about it a little bit in the 30s when Hitler took over. Didn't work. We're in a more global world now. Right. Back then, you couldn't get across the world like we can get across the world now. So the world's global, meaning we can get around with the internet. We can get around and talk about things in a matter of minutes. We can't be isolationist no more. The world's not built like that. We can't just say we want to worry about America no more. One, we have too many interests around the world. We have too many Americans in foreign places. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We have too many business interests. We have too many companies. Think about Facebook if we're an isolationist country. Facebook's only going to operate in America? No, it ain't. It's going to operate everywhere. Google, Amazon, let's take Amazon. They're only going to work in America? No, they work everywhere. They have plants and stuff overseas. What happens when China decides they don't want our plant anymore and they start killing American people that are over there? Then you're going to want us to go do something. We ain't even over there no more because we're isolations. Don't make no sense. That's why I'm saying people are playing and don't understand. They're not paying attention. They're not educated on it. They don't look at the news. They ignore it. But then when the shit hits the fan, they wonder what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? When they say stupid things like my vote don't count, so I ain't gonna vote, then what you think's gonna happen when Marjorie Taylor Greene, holds up a Ukrainian package, Russia takes over Ukraine, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they're messing with American interests and we're at war with them now. Or they attack Poland, which is right next to them. Now because of NATO, we got to go fight them.
Right.
And now your son, uncle, cousin, 21 years old is now getting trained for the military and getting dropped off into that bullshit. That's what's going to happen, folks. That's what it is. That's how that ends. You know what I'm saying? That's, war's been happening for years and centuries. This ain't nothing new.
Right.
That's how wars get started. Smaller conflicts turn into bigger conflicts. And it's over resources. That's basically what it is. Right. And idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene that don't have any salt in the game, she ain't got nobody. She's not going to go over there and fight. She ain't got nobody that's going to go over there and fight. You know what I'm saying? Say stupid shit and do stupid things and get us in those predicaments.
Definitely agree. It's really sad because our ignorance is what's getting us in trouble.
Ignorance.
We don't want to, like you said, people are like, I don't want to watch the news, or it's sad, or yes, it is sad. It's going to get sadder if we don't play a part. And we do have a lot of power in the voting power, but we just don't utilize that. And you go off listening to parrots like MTG, who says all kind of crazy stuff and does crazy things, and you start believing into that, and you go in these conspiracy theories, and it's sad because the world. I mean, if you've been seeing right now, we're already having issues. Different countries are starting to fight each other. Eventually, America's going to be pulled into this. We don't want it, but the United States, it's coming. We're going there.
Yeah. One thing that I think is happening too, that at least recently, is we're supporting Israel. And we're doing a lot to help them. And part of this Ukraine package also includes things for Israel. And I think there's another area too that is included in this bill. But at the same time, we are supplying funds and weapons to Israel, but Israel is not really caring about what our opinions and thoughts are. They're like, you know what? Yeah, keep giving us money, keep doing all this stuff. But yeah, Biden, you said don't attack. Guess what they did? Yeah. They attacked Iran anyway. So I think that's why a lot of people start looking at it and saying, you know what? Why are we giving these countries money? And they still doing stuff that if I give somebody $100 to, I don't know, clean my camera lens, I expect you to clean my damn camera lens. Okay? I expect you to do it the way I want you to and listen to my input because I gave you money. We give money to Israel and like, hey, protect yourself. Not kill all these innocent people in the Gaza Strip. Not attack Iran. Not do this shit. So when people say, you know what, maybe we should just fucking sit back and just be in isolation. Does that add, does that add to their point? Does that make them seem like, well, maybe they right?
I mean, it's a complicated question because Israel's complicated. Israel's like the little brother that goes and picks a fight with the bully because he knows his big brother's behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then the big brother says, hey, man, you need to stop that. And, fuck you. I'm still going to go out here because, I just can't, the whole story with that. But the easy fix would be, well, hey, we just need to stop giving them money or whatever. We need to stop supporting them. I wish it was that easy. It'd be good. But because of history, we're kind of tied into doing it. We kind of put them over there. We didn't, but NATO did. Right. And we put them over there. They made a big fuss about that in the 40s. They've been having wars since then, all the way up till now. And so we're kind of stuck in that situation. So truthfully, we couldn't even be isolationists when it comes to that, unless we're just going to say, goodbye Israel, which ain't nobody sitting in this country going to allow that to happen, specifically. But that's where it is. So you're right. When people talk isolation, can we truthfully do that? No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? But even if we did, what are going to be the ramifications? I mean, that's goodbye Israel. You can say that right now. Iran tried to attack them, just a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? Well, about a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So And Iran's a whole country away from them. We ain't talking about Syria and Jordan and Egypt and Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of people don't like Israel. You know what I'm saying? But America right now reminds me of how I was in high school. Wouldn't pay attention in class. Then wonder why the hell I flunked the test. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And a lot of Americans aren't paying attention. And then when these things come up, they're like, well, what's happening? What's going on? La, la, la. And a lot of people talk to me all the time like that. I think every day, like especially when Israel retaliated against Iran. What's going on with Israel? What do you mean what's going on? It's been on every day, all day. Like even if you don't read, you should know what's going on with them. But we're so distracted over here as a country and so privileged to the point where we think nothing's going to affect us. We just don't pay attention. Well, guess what? We not paying attention. We do. We do pay attention. We find out what's going on. So
it's crazy, man, that people aren't paying attention like that. But you need to pay attention to the like button.
I almost did it for you.
Thank you. You set me up perfectly. Also, make sure that you subscribe to Left Wing Kingz and share all of our content on all of your social media platforms. All right. So, Ace. Okay. Ace. Why isn't the United States providing aid or support to places like Haiti and Sudan?
Wow. Well, you know, why? Well, I mean, we have obvious reasons, but let me speak on Sudan a little bit, just so you can kind of understand the situation, because it surprised me, and I looked into it a little bit, and I'm still digging in the weeds for it. Sudan is currently having a civil war, and they've been doing that since last year, April 15th. They just actually hit a year. The Sudanese armed forces is going against a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces. And basically, they're having a civil war, and it's two functions, and they're fighting over there. And a lot of it's being it's been influenced by foreign people that are just trying to, you know, gain a lot of their resources and stuff like that. But right now, 8.6 million people have been displaced over there since that war. 2.5 million have fled the country. Why isn't America supporting them? I don't have a good answer for that. That's a humanitarian problem that's happening. We haven't heard about it, not to the effects that we've heard about everything else. And that's a big humanitarian problem that they're having over here. And I guarantee you, people don't have any idea what's going on. You're talking about isolationists? Well, we're isolating against them. Now, the obvious reason I would say that's because that's a black nation. That's an African nation. That's why. That's the biggest reason I'm going to point at, because how, when there's 8.6 million people being displaced in the Civil War, we haven't heard anything about it. And you have, you can go on the internet and find it. Don't get it wrong. But you don't hear that on the news. Not like we're hearing about Israel. Not like we're hearing about Ukraine. What's the difference? That's a black nation. Those are white nations. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it. I mean, I can't put it any easier than that. And we can say, well, you know, the relationships and all that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be a police nation. Why aren't we over there helping them out? And we can go back to anything that's happened in Africa, and we've had tragedies and wars and stuff like that. And we know Africa got its problems. And of course, America, we can't do everything. We got that. But we're not talking about something that's just small or just like between the nations. We're talking about something that's pretty major. So I'm pretty sure America's doing something. I haven't researched that to see. I'm pretty sure there's some monies that we're giving to Sudan. But if there is, why aren't we hearing about that? You know what I'm saying? Why ain't the media covering that? You know what I'm saying? So, and we also, we talked on Haiti. Haiti's the same situation. And I looked up on this a little bit. They have their own form of oligarchs that actually live here in America that are influencing those wars because of economic value. But they like live in Florida and shit. You know, they're in the country. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's political ramifications, or these people have some influence because they're actually in the country. You know what I'm saying? So once again, these are two black nations that we don't get the media coverage to talk about that, so we can get the support behind it. I mean, that's the number one thing. And I do need to do some research to see what America's actually doing for Sudan and all of that, and what their plan is, and even the UN. But we hear nothing about that here.
No, very suppressed. I will say that. And I didn't see anything on Sudan. Even with Haiti, if you notice, it's gotten real quiet. First, she came out there and I said, we know Haiti's close to us. We just, how to cruise. I said, so I still don't understand. If you notice, too, that we have really pulled out. And again, I had quoted a previous information in regards to how much money we've given Haiti in the past. But it's the same thing with Ukraine. Like how much money we've given them. So I don't want to hear about, well, we gave them money before. Well, we gave them money before. So like you said, the only difference I could see on a visual aspect is that we're different shades.
Yeah.
And that's a sad thing. There's still a lot of resources in Sudan as well as in Haiti as well.
And I just want to kind of touch on both of your points. Like when it's not showing in the media. And Haiti was in the media for a minute. But like you said, they ain't talking about it no more, and the situation hasn't changed. But I'll kind of use a metaphor, like, or whatever you want to say, like, not even a metaphor. I'll compare it to Black missing women. Yeah, you don't hear shit about there's a lot of Black missing women out there. You don't hear shit about them. Soon as white woman end up missing, little blonde hair, everybody, it's on the news. It's on the national news, bro. It's on CNN, Fox. Everywhere. There are a bunch of missing Black women out there, and you don't hear shit. Why? I guess it ain't popular news. The media don't talk about that shit. If it ain't white, it ain't right. They don't want to see that shit, right? And then the second point, I'll go back to our show, Shogun. Yeah. And this is, everybody knows that colonizers from Spain, Portugal, England came over here, and they divvied shit up. They did the same, like, Brazil was Portugal, Mexico, Spain came over there. That's why they speak those different languages. The Caribbean, you got, French and Haiti. Like all these different people from Europe came over and grabbed their little pieces. Well, when you brought up the fact that in Sudan, there's foreign influence, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah. That's probably why we ain't getting involved. Because there's probably some other country out there
that's gunning,
that's backing one side or the other, that if we get in there and fuck with it, then it's like they're gonna be like, hey man, this is United Kingdom here. We doing some shit. Calm down, United States. This is our shit.
We letting all this stuff go crazy.
Yeah, this is our shit. Just leave us alone. We're backing this. We're letting it happen. We're letting it go crazy because we want, like you said, resources. They got something over there that we want. So we gonna back this group. It's happened in Iran, Contra. It happened with all kinds of. You always have that outside influence that comes over because they want something. Yeah. And it stops us from acting unless it's somebody. If it's somebody who we like, we gonna stand back and be hands off.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that they're voting on that package today in Congress for the support, but they also have Taiwan in that package.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, there's another like. It's
but
like
Indonesia?
Well, why do they have Taiwan in that package? You know what I'm saying? That Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. Because of China. So part of the answer is Sudan, there's no of our big time players threatening Haiti or threatening Sudan.
Like I said, it's a friend of ours probably. Somebody who, you said foreign influences. Yeah, exactly. It's probably somebody we cool with. Right. We ain't gonna fuck with.
Yeah, that's another reason. But I guarantee you, if China was over there and do Sudan or something like that, then that would be an interest. So we would put resources towards that. So, but when I like to throw humanitarian over there. Yeah, it's humanitarian. It's people dying over there, children and stuff. They don't give a damn about that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No. But the crazy thing is, remember when I remember there was a comment and they were like, "No, you guys stay out of here." Remember some of the people were saying like they did. The African. He was like, "No, don't come over here. We got this. We'll take care of our own people." It was a Haitian. The Haiti.
And the Haitian person
I was like, "Oh, I was kind of going crazy."
We don't want y'all's help.
Yeah, we don't want your help. Stay over there, colonizers. Like basically, I was like, oh. Because that's what
going to
they
join
feel.
them gangs then, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all got whole gangs taking over.
But you got to understand.
Y'all ain't got it, bro.
But they've seen it. They've seen people come into their country and take over. So I was like, I didn't even think about that. Like that has been their life. You know what I mean? Like, why we think we here? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've seen you take people, migrate them somewhere, use them, and then they become, supposedly part of your society. But they're like, I don't want that. Yeah. I want my own resources. I want my country. I want my language. I want my culture. All you do is come over here and take. I didn't even think about it in that aspect. Like, they don't want our help. All they know is, they know from America that we just colonize and take.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I hear what they're saying, but and it's just funny. I was looking at this video on Haiti. the young lady was saying, they walking around with flip flops, and they got a $4,000 piece of military equipment. You know, they got guns. So there are people that are helping them. They're just helping them wrong.
Somebody giving them that.
They giving them they giving them guns. They giving them drugs or whatever the case may be. So I understand what that person is saying, but you have Haitian Americans
killing. Yeah.
You know, Americans, black people here. They're just for the simple fact, just on the eye test, come on, man, we got to do something. I mean, we have enough people here that's going to look at that. And we do see that, all right, you know, you got teenage boys running around and they ain't got no sneakers on their feet, but they sitting there with an AK-47 brand new out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So there is an influence there. It's just the wrong one.
Right.
You know.
Well, with this bill, you know, they're trying to support Israel, Taiwan, Ukraine. And when it all started off, you know, Mike Johnson was, you know, talking about supporting the bill, but then people like MTG, what's his name? Anyway, the little group, the little MAGA group, they all started talking about this rule, like, right, the motion to vacate rule. And Mike Johnson, initially, he was like saying he was considering getting rid of it. He's like, maybe that's something we talk about. But recently, he backed away from that stance. He says he's not going to do anything to get rid of that. So what is the rule, Walanda, and how could it save his job?
Well, it's known as the motion to vacate. Okay, so it's a procedure in which a member of a legislative body proposes that the presiding officer vacates their office. And you only need one person to say that for the vote. That's the crazy thing. So it's currently a single member can force a floor vote on the motion to vacate. So as soon as somebody says we want you out, then they have to come to the vote, and that could happen. So basically Johnson said that the threshold has named this office. So the Republican majority is now the Republican majority, but he feels like it's just not going to work. He understands the importance of the idea, but he said any rule change requires the majority and that the full House, which they do not have at this time. So he's like, it don't matter. We're not going to change it because nothing's going to change because they don't have the full majority. Yeah, they don't have the votes for it. So it's like, it is whatever. But just understand the first speaker was outed by doing so. Oh, dumb. And that's the only reason he got the gavel to begin with. So, you know, Republicans, they do some sneaky, snide stuff. And again, they work with the fact of, I don't want you working with the other side. It's like the other people are the enemy. But that is the point of their job. We fire people who don't do their job. Like, if you can't work with others,
that's literally what Congress has to do.
Yeah.
They got to get together with differences and have a discussion and make a decision. That's basically what
Bring your perspective. I bring you my perspective. We talk it out. We may not agree about the same way to solve a problem, but we're going to get to the root of the problem.
It's a big-ass business meeting for the government. That's all it is. That's what Congress is.
That's why you got to vote, people. Fire them all.
And here's the problem, and I heard this week. Here's the problem with Speaker of the House and why the motion to vacate is so stupid. Because every time they do that and they get rid of a speaker, we can't do business until we get another speaker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like firing your boss at work. Yeah, okay, that sounds good, but what's gonna get done when the boss ain't there? No. So you fire the speaker and you slow everything down, you slow government down again, and you don't get anything pushed through. That's why we ain't got, you couldn't get anything through Congress when McCarthy got fired or got vacated. It's because we had no speaker. Then we had to go through again and elect another speaker, and they couldn't do that. It took them, 3 weeks to get that done. So it just slows everything down to a snail's pace, and government's not getting passed. Things aren't getting passed, and your government slows down. That's just a bad way to have just a few people in this country hold the rest of us hostage.